The topics and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the hosts and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Hello, W4CY listeners. My name is Nitzan Mosri, and I am the Traveling Investor. This is where you're going to learn how to master your mind, body, and wallet. I'm an entrepreneur, coach, and investor, and I've spent my life studying and following the habits and mindsets of highly successful people. With that knowledge, I've created a lifestyle business where I live life on my own terms. I'm on a mission to share my knowledge to help you live life on your terms. I'm Nitzan Mosri, the Traveling Investor, and thank you for joining me as we dive into real, raw, authentic, and inspiring conversations with people from around the globe who are making an impact. What's happening, travelers? Nitzan Mosri here, the Traveling Investor, with another week of the Traveling Investor Show. And I got my boy here, Tom Zames, philosopher extraordinaire, and we're connected with our headset here. Technical issues, right? But you got to roll with it. You got to roll. How you doing, Tom? What's happening?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Doing well.
Just got to roll with it.
Just got to roll with it, right? Just like before we got on the show, we were talking about, he was asking me if I had bought the boat that I was looking at and whatnot. And I said no. By the time I got around to moving and whatnot, the guy sold the boat. But now a friend of mine and I were looking to buy a bigger boat, a cat. So things happen for a reason, right?
Absolutely.
And we may not know the reason now, but we'll figure it out later. So how's your week been?
We'll find better microphones.
Better microphones, better headsets.
The whole shebang.
We just grow and grow and grow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah. So the week's good. Managing the ups and downs.
Yes.
The best I can.
Managing the ups and downs. That's kind of what we do, right? We got to
what
manage
we do.
the ups and downs.
Yeah.
Got to figure out how to keep that energy high when everything else is falling down, right?
Oh my God.
Yep. Bringing us close together. That's right. It is bringing us close together.
There we go.
That's it. How's everybody out there doing? Let us know where you're listening in from. We'd love to connect with our listeners and just know where you guys listening to us and what's been going on in your lives. And
drop your name too. Sometimes we can't see it.
That's right. And do me a favor, if you're go to YouTube, go to the Traveling Investor channel. You'll be able to see all of our previous shows. A lot of my videos are there, educational content and whatnot. Go to YouTube, the Traveling Investor, subscribe, like, comment, share, do all that jazz. Go on all social media. I'm there as well. TikTok. Check out Facebook. Tom Zames, philosopher extraordinaire. He's got his live videos at night, full of just in your face stuff, which is awesome because he calls it for what it is, right? You call it for what it is, without the bullshit, without the the makeup on it.
I call it the way I see it.
Right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So you're listening from Alabama due to evacuation. AL, is that Alabama? Okay. What evacuations are you dealing with out there?
A hurricane.
Hurricane. Yeah, it's hurricane season.
Hurricane Sally.
Hurricane Sally is coming through, huh?
Yep.
Well, be safe out there, man. We're praying for you. It's tons of hurricanes coming this way.
Yeah, I've got my theories about that too.
Oh yeah, Tennessee's listening in. Awesome. Welcome to Tennessee. Yeah, I have a hotel in Memphis, right? So go check it out. Travelodge by Graceland.
A lot of history there.
A lot of history. A lot of great people playing there. Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, Elvis used to hang out there, man. The king of rock and roll.
Yep.
The
king.
It's amazing how these people, when you look at all these successful people, it doesn't matter if they're actors, musicians, business people, they all have that one thing in mind, right? That mindset.
Yep.
We talk a lot about that on this show. This show is practically, I would say, about 90% mindset and attitude and how to go about doing things rather than the science of step 1, step 2, step 3.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
The first thing is it's got to come up in the mind.
Right there. Yeah.
You got to have. There can't be any doubt. Right. Hey, Sally. Oh, yes, Sally hit our place in Florida, so we went to Alabama. Okay, gotcha, man. Well, be safe. I hope so.
Pensacola, I think it was.
Yeah. Hope you guys are safe. There's a great bar on the border of Alabama and Florida. It's called Floribama.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there.
Is it good?
It's quite an interesting place.
Is it touristy or is it? It's not classy.
When I was there, it was not a classy joint. It was not a touristy joint. It was like a local dive bar that was half in Florida, half in Alabama, and it was pretty wild.
That's great.
It's pretty local. I think now it's grown.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So today we've got a great show. We've got incredible guests. I'm always looking to bring people that can add value to our listeners, right?
Yeah.
People that have a good story, that have something to share. So the guy that we're going to bring on after the break, his name's Larry Posen. Seasoned professional, 30 years. Working in the financial sector. He's done all that. He's worked with strategic. He's built strategic alliances with law firms and CPA firms. He's, like I said, business 35 years. He's done everything from goal setting, revenue increasing, networking, referral acquisitions, new client acquisitions, all that kind of stuff. Right. So he knows how to talk about that side. But what I brought him today to talk to us about, he's also, I don't know if you guys have heard about this thing called Peak Performance.
Okay.
Peak Performance is a program where they go out and they show you how to really go out there and manifest everything, how to go out there and create abundance in every aspect of your life.
That's beautiful.
And he's a peak performance coach. So I met him on Facebook, which is awesome. Great way to meet people, great way to network.
Yeah.
Met him on Facebook. We started talking. He's from the U.S. He now lives in Israel, and he has clients all over the world, right? And his thing is he approaches success by focusing on two paths at the same time. One is the path to increase the skills necessary to succeed, right? And then the second, and like we always say here, and probably the most important approach, right, focuses on acquiring the right mindset to have whatever you desire.
There it is.
With 100% conviction and determination, right? So what we're going to do right now is we're going to take a quick break. We're going to listen to some of our sponsors. And when we come back, we're going to bring Larry and we're going to talk about how to achieve your peak performance, what you need to do. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Traveling Investor on W4CY Radio. Please take a moment to listen to the sponsors who have a secret message just for you. Don't leave. The best is yet to come. The Traveling Investor will be right back.
I wanna be rich. Oh, I wanna be rich.
Behind everything you're searching for is something you're actually looking for. When you search with the Real Yellow Pages, you get more than a contractor. You get a whole new curb appeal. It's not just getting directions to a dry cleaner with YP.com. It's rescuing an old favorite from the back of the closet. And it's more than finding a locksmith with YP.com on your mobile. It's getting to sleep in your own bed. Whatever it might be, there are more ways to search and more ways to find exactly what you're looking for with the Real Yellow Pages, YP.com, and YP.com on your mobile, only from AT&T.
Fiesta Pet Deli, South Florida's original and only fresh food deli for pets. We carry a full line of products like Bravo, Nature's Variety, and BioComplete. We have FDA-approved meals that are prepared daily. Stop by our brand new store located at Sample Road and the Turnpike in the Festival Flea Market in Pompano, Florida, or call 954-971-2500. Check us out online at www.realfoodforpets.com. If your pet's overweight, suffers from skin problems, or you suspect food allergies, we have the solution. We also carry a large variety of pet strollers, bedding, apparel, collars, leashes, natural chews, and grooming supplies. Veterinarian owned and operated, Fiesta Pet Deli's mission is to help every pet owner have the healthiest pet they possibly can. Call us today for local deliveries or shipping throughout the United States. Call Fiesta Pet Deli today at 954-971-2500. That's 954-971-2500.
Hey, this is Rebel Medler. Join me for In Your Face on W4CY.com, Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
You are now tuned into W4CY Radio, entertainment at your fingertips.
I wanna be rich. Oh, I wanna be rich.
Attention listeners, we are preparing once again for takeoff. So please return your seats as W4CY Radio welcomes back your real estate guru, the traveling investor, Nitsan Mosery.
Hey, what's happening,
Pages,
travelers? Welcome back.
YP.com
Nitsan
and
Mosery here.
YP.com on your mobile, only from AT&T.
Fiesta Pet Deli, South Florida's original and only fresh food deli for
so people
pets.
can hear
We
us.
carry a
That's
line
what's
of products
going
like
on.
Larry,
Bravo,
go
Nature's
ahead. Larry, you
Variety,
there?
Fleet. We have FDA-approved meals that are prepared daily. A brand new store located at Sample Road and the Turnpike in the Festival Flea Market in Pompano, Florida.
On Larry's
Or
end,
call
or-
online at www.realfoodforpets.
Larry, can you
Pets
hear us?
overweight, suffers from skin problems,
Okay,
or
maybe
you
we're still in
suspect
commercial.
food allergies, we have the solution. We also carry a large variety of
Rebel?
pet strollers, bedding, apparel, collars, leashes, natural chews, and grooming supplies. Owned and operated, Pet Deli's mission is to help every pet owner have the healthiest pet they possibly can. Copy for low deliveries or shipping throughout the United States. Call Fiesta Pet Deli today at 954-971-2500.
Do you guys,
That's
one of y'all have something playing the show
2500.
as we're listening? Because it's backing up.
W4CY.com,
No.
Tuesdays at
Maybe there's no
2
window
p.m.
open back
Eastern
Yeah,
Standard Time.
listen, though.
Maybe Tim.
Entertainment
Maybe
at
it's
your
him.
fingertips.
Larry, are you on?
We are preparing CY Radio Star. Nitsan Mosery.
Can you ask Larry?
Larry, do you have something playing?
Hey guys, how's it going?
It's going well, but did
Are
you
hearing
have?
me? I'm seeing you guys.
Yes, we can hear you, but do you have something else open in your browser that you're listening to or can access the show?
Can you hear us? Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
He closed his tabs, I think.
I'm hearing you fine. I'm hearing you fine.
There it is. Okay, I think we're good.
All right, Larry, can you hear us? All right, we're having some technical difficulties. That's what happens.
We
Are you
could
there?
hear him.
Okay, so we're having a little technical difficulty bringing Larry on.
We're just
Hey.
we're in a
Can you guys hear me? Can you see me?
All right,
Oh,
we
there
can-
you
there
are.
you go. How are you? How are you, Larry? All right, so we're having some technical difficulties.
I hear
There
and
might
see
be a
you.
delay. There's a-
I think the
No,
connection.
yeah, no, nothing playing. I hear you and I see you.
Okay, well, we're having a tough time. All right, so there's a little lag on our part, so we're just going to talk and then Larry will chime in. So, Larry, pleasure to thank you for being here.
How about that? Is that better?
You know, Larry and I, we had a conversation
Okay, sorry
a
about
couple of
that.
days ago.
Yes, I can. Better late than never. You know what this means to me? We're gonna have an awesome show. Yep, I'm there. Can you see me?
he's delayed for some
He's delayed. He's delayed.
He's delayed.
Okay, so we're gonna start. So, Larry, thanks for being on the show. You've got tons of
doing good.
business experience.
You know what this means to me? We're gonna have a crazy good show because we started off with a good challenge.
That's as always, right? Whenever there's a challenge. So Larry, how did you go? We're just going to get into it. We're just going to run with it, man. How did you go from the business side of life into your peak performance, into coaching people on how to create abundance in all areas of your life? All right. So there
It's crazy.
Okay. All right.
Pleasure.
So yes, it's for
Yikes.
some reason we're having some
It's
difficulties.
gonna wind up good.
So
Okay.
what we'll do is maybe we will have Larry come in on another show because the connection here is really bad.
Great question. And first of all, I
Um,
want to say thank you so much for having me on. It's really quite an honor. And the answer to that question,
This is like 3 or 4 minutes behind.
you're not hearing me at all?
It's your internet.
It's it's a lag time. So what I think we'll do is maybe we'll just cut to a quick commercial break, and maybe our sound engineer can help Larry. And if not, Larry, maybe we'll just bring you in at another time. So guys, stay tuned. We'll be right back. We're going to listen to some of our...
Can you hear me?
You can't fix his internet. All right. Well, let's just maybe we just cut Larry right now, and we'll just go on. And there we go.
Tyler,
We'll get to Larry, another time. Hopefully he will be. Hopefully next time we'll have better internet connection. But he was going to talk about. We don't need this right now. We don't need this anymore. So you see, you got to.
It worked out with the microphone.
It worked out, right? Finally, we didn't need it. All right, now we can get back to it. So this guy, Larry Posen, he's worked in business for 35 years. Worked with some of the, top CPA firms, law firms, helping them create referrals and whatnot. Yeah. And then he went and he shifted and he became this peak performance coach, which talks about mindset. It talks about how to achieve your peak performance, right? And how to manifest everything in life, right? It's the zone, man. And we talk a lot about it. This is pretty much all we talk about on the show.
Right.
Is mindsets, because it doesn't matter what you do in life. It doesn't matter if you're a garbage collector, if you're a landscaper, if you're a mortgage broker, if you're unemployed like me, right? As long as you have the right mindset. I remember when I was a little kid, my dad always used to tell me, he goes, doesn't matter what you are, doesn't matter what you do, be the best, right? And that's kind of the mindset that you got to have, is just be the best, right? It's about taking pride in what you do. Absolutely. Take pride. That's what I teach my kids.
Right.
Take pride in what you do.
Yeah, be excellent.
Matter, right? Doesn't matter if I ask you to wash a glass or, clean up your room. Do it the best for yourself so that you can be proud, right? So you can be like, yeah, man, I did that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah,
be excellent.
Mm-hmm. I remember also, when I was a little kid, I didn't understand at that time what my father was telling me. But I remember when I used to tell my dad, I can't do that. He goes, there's no such thing as I can't. I just don't want to.
Yep.
I'm like, no, that's not true. I can't do that. He goes, no such thing as I can't. You just don't want to. And I never understood that, right? I'm a little kid and I'm going, I can't do that, blah, 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 blah. Do it. Right. There's two ways you can do things. The right way and again. That's it, right? There's only two ways to do it. And now when I'm older and I realize what my father was telling me back then, he was telling me, he goes, dude, whatever you think, you're right. If you think you can do it, you can do it. And there's no such thing as I can't.
Right.
Figure it out.
Yeah.
There will always be a way for you to figure things out. Nothing is impossible, right? If you have the will and the determination, nothing is possible, right? Absolutely, right? So like I said, there's only two ways to do things. The right way and again.
And again.
And again. That's it, right? And you always want to do things from the beginning correctly. And if you guys want us to pull cards for you, we'd be more than happy to. So let me know. We had a couple of people last week that chatted with us and told us that the cards were pretty awesome, were pretty right on. They were
helpful,
very helpful, right? They were able to take action. They felt more confident because of what the cards said.
Yeah. So they manifested it themselves by removing doubt.
Oh, say that again.
They manifested it themselves by removing the doubt.
By removing the doubt, you know, and that's just the way it is. It says in the Jewish Bible, it says in the Christian Bible, it says probably in the Quran and everywhere else, in Buddhism and so forth. Doubt is the seed, is the killer of everything.
Yeah.
Right. Have no doubt. Have no doubt.
Yeah.
And once you have that belief, then you got to take massive action on that, right? Yeah. And I was actually talking to Larry the other night or yesterday, I think it was. And, I like to talk to the guests before the show. And, we were talking how it's all about action. And in the Bible, it says, don't pray. You don't need to pray 24 hours a day for something to happen.
Right.
Pray for it once and then go take action.
And then, yeah.
And if you look at it, what's the first sentence in the Bible?
In the beginning.
In the beginning, what did God do? God created the heavens and the earth. He took action on the first day.
He created.
He took action. He split the heavens. He got this, and then he did the night. It was all about action, right? Get out and make it happen. Absolutely. Get out and make it happen. He took he, she, God, it, whatever he took action.
Action.
So you can sit there and you can pray all you want. But if you're not going to take action, nothing's going to happen.
Yep.
Nothing, right? It's all about taking action. And a lot of people say, well, how do I know if the action I'm going to take is going to be the correct action or not?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What does that question tell you?
That's they're trying to procrastinate. They're trying to make excuses.
Mm-hmm. They have doubt.
They're trying to, they have doubt.
They have doubt that they can do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
What don't you know? Nobody knows.
Right.
We're all making this shit up as we go along.
Yeah.
So just go and make it up. Because when you make it up and you do it, the universe kind of gives you what you want.
Yeah.
Right. So, what is the first step a person can take to start?
Ask for it, have the idea, whatever it is that you want.
Mm-hmm.
Ask for it. Make the desire, make the request outward. It's got to start with the thought, right? It's inside, right?
It's
you
an
generate the
inside
request, the idea, the thought. Mm-hmm. That's the first step.
And then you put it out there.
You visualize that.
You visualize it.
Feel that.
Specific. If you want to build a home, you visualize the home exactly the way you want and see yourself every day stepping into that home, going to the kitchen, going to the fridge.
Yes.
Right?
Stuff works.
Do all that, right?
Yeah.
That's where you start. That's how it starts.
Yeah.
It starts from there.
With how you feel when how you feel when you're in that kitchen.
Right.
Yep. The countertops.
What kind of countertops? Right. What kind of lights do you
smell?
have? Yeah. Absolutely. Right.
Yeah.
Everything, man. You go in and then you start living that, right? Right? Can you pull a general card of the day so we can have a stepping start of the card read? Okay, we'll do that. But there was one question before that. I like that. There was someone who was talking about fear. How can you get over the fear of putting things in motion?
Action.
How can you get over the fear of putting things in motion?
Well, they're two opposites. So it's like you can't be in fear when you're in action. But you need to get into action. Just do it. You just have to do something. Baby steps. I like to lean into it.
Right.
Gradually.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to, if I'm learning how to dive, my first dive isn't going to be in the cliffs of Acapulco.
Right.
I'm going to jump off the side first, then 1 foot, then 2, and I work my way up.
That's right. Right.
You could do the Acapulco thing, but you don't really, it's not effective.
You might get hurt doing the Acapulco thing first, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You might get hurt. But you know what fear is? Fear is also, it's telling you to be cautious. So it's okay to be cautious.
Sure.
Right? Be cautious with what you're doing, but just get out there and just do it. Just do it. That's how you get over the fear. You get over the fear just by doing it. Larry, are you with us? Can you hear us? Okay, there's still a lag.
Yeah,
so
can you hear me? Yes, I hear you.
Awesome. So let's get into it. All right. How did you go from the business world to doing what you do today, which is helping people find abundance and create abundance and hit their peak performance?
Well, here's what happened. So I'm 61 years old. So when I was about 35 years old, I actually went away to college in my early 20s. I decided that because I really didn't have a particular direction and a profession behind me, and I was a pretty good talker, everyone suggested, go into sales. And these days in the U.S. and New York, people were making a lot of money selling garment center, and I was importing children's clothing. And then all of a sudden I noticed that the financial sector was really taking off. So I decided to go to work for one of the largest financial service companies in America, America. And as soon as I started to work there, they introduced us to this new approach, which was mindset. Of course, there were technical things that we needed to learn, how to close deals, how to talk to clients, how to network. But the first thing that they taught us at the very beginning was the difference between those that really succeeded and those that didn't, were those that believed they could, those that worked on the mindset that actually gave them that winning edge. And that's how I transitioned into that thought process. And because I gravitated to something that was really natural for me, this is something that I've been studying for over 5 years. Over the time I was in America, it's something I excelled in, seeing other people in the businesses that I was working for grow in that area, because I understood it so clearly. It was so clear to me that how you think is where you're going to go in life. So I started with the foundation of everything that I believe is a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. He wrote that book in the early 1800s, where he interviewed Andrew Carnegie and Thomas Edison and Henry Ford and 500 of the most successful people in the world. And he came up with a formula that basically talks about success. And that's how I got started into the conversation. But I'd like to get into some of the things that you spoke about while I was closed out, which is, how do you overcome fear? And that's a really good subject that we can talk about if you guys want to get into that, because that's a very good question.
Sure, let's get into it. Fear. People are afraid. People don't know where to start. They have doubt. That doubt creates fear, creates anxiety.
Right. So just like on a computer, we have a default. Just like on a computer, we have a default mechanism. When we wake up in the morning, our default mechanism is fear. We're afraid of the unknown. But what we have to understand is fear comes from thoughts. And thoughts are just what they are. They're just thoughts. They're not who we are. So your thoughts can take you anywhere you want. That you have to ask yourself is, are my thoughts controlling me, or am I controlling my thoughts? If my thoughts are controlling me, they're going to put me in place of anxiety and fear of the unknown. And the reality is, most of the things we fear are things that we have no control of. We're focusing on the things that we don't have control of. And most of the things that we fear in life actually never happens. What usually happens is the things that become challenging are things that blindside us. If you really think about those things that you were afraid of in life that gave you fear, they actually never happen. So I don't really fight the fear in my head. I just recognize it. I accept that there's fear. And I understand that it's just a thought. It's not who I am. And I'll give you a perfect example. If you remember the movie Jaws, I think it was in either late 1970s or early 1980s. It's about this shark, obviously, this movie, about the shark that comes into New England and ravages the place. Well, I grew up in Long Island in the Jones Beach area. And in like 100 years, I don't think there was even one shark attack in the entire Jones Beach. But when I went to see Jaws, there was no way I was going in that water. That's the most irrational thing I ever heard. Rationally, there's no sharks in these waters. But my mind just saw the movie Jaws. So my mind is telling me there's sharks in the waters. That's the problem. That's what thought does to you. So imagine waking up every day. Now you got to go face the world. You want to be successful, but you have all thoughts that are telling you you're no good. You're living in your past. You haven't made it up until now. And if you don't know who you are and where you're going, your thoughts you have to ask yourself, are my thoughts in line with where I want to be? And that gets into the whole conversation of who we really are. When I say things like, I was thinking to myself, or I was talking to myself, it's like there's two people. There's that and there's this other person. So we really have to start to learn who we really are. But I promise you one thing, you're not your thoughts. I have a heart that beats. I have a mouth that speaks, I have eyes that see, and I have a brain that thinks, but it's not who I am. Finding out who you are is another great conversation to have, because that's really the crux of everything.
So you say it's like having two people. Where does that other person come from? Why do we have these thoughts, these negative thoughts, right? Where do they suddenly come from, right? We see a baby and we raise a child and it grows. Where does the child suddenly get these negative thoughts or these feelings? And how is it that we carry these on into adulthood? And how do we get rid of them? Let's talk about how we get rid of them.
Well, let's start from the beginning beginning of the question, which is where do they come from? How does a person wind up programmed into so many of these thoughts? And it's really quite simple. First, you have to understand that, like Einstein said, we are divine spirits living in a physical world. When I look at you, Elon and Tom, and you look at me, I recognize you by face, but that's not who you are. I'll give you a quick story, which a lot of my clients know all my stories. So if any of my clients are listening, it's like, well, we've talked about this before, but let's go there. So about 20 wives passed away from a very serious illness that he had been fighting for a while. And I got a call early from in-law. She said, I think Dad's about to leave this earth. It would be great if you'd come to the hospital. So I went to the hospital at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I was really not on top of my spiritual game at the time, but I'm looking at this man. He's literally on the last minutes of his life, and I'm looking at him, and I recognize, obviously, he's in front of me, and then he closes his eyes and leaves this earth. And something dawned on me at that moment, and I'm looking at him, and I realize, well, here's the guy that I've known for 20, 25 years. If you don't put him in put him in the ground tomorrow, we could tie him to the chair, actually, and make believe he's still here. But is he here? No, he's gone. Something left. And when I saw that thing that left, even though I could see his face and he was still there, and I realized that something had left, I realized there's an inner spirit inside each person that's part of the divine. And I started doing on it, and what I found was the reality is who you really are is this unlimited creative source of energy that's inside of you. And that I've studied for a lot. And Deepak Chopra and people like this, because when a baby is born, the spiritual energy of the creative source comes into this baby, and he's clean as a whistle. He doesn't have any thoughts or opinions at all. As a matter of fact, one of the great things that we try to achieve is to go back to that time today before we had, put ourselves in a state of peak performance, before we had thoughts and opinions and judgments. Because that baby comes to this world clean. And there's a guy by the name of Hanks who talks about the 3 principles of mind, thought, and consciousness. And what he basically explains, and I think he's right on target, is that when you're born, your brain, which is just a function of your physicality and your biological system, starts taking pictures of everything that's happening to you. And you start recognizing, oh, there's sadness, there's fear, this gets me angry, this gets me jealous. And over time, your brain starts creating a scenario of how you think. And then it starts projecting these things back into your life. So therefore, you can have 2 brothers, for instance, that grow up in this same experience, or a husband and wife that experience the same exact things, but they feel completely differently about what they've experienced, because one of them was raised in this way and saw things and triggered this particular movie in their mind, and the other one saw them in a completely different way. So again, the big question is to understand and to say, how do I separate myself from my thoughts? Because when I say I was talking to myself, the I that was my brain, which was taking pictures, which I thought of to this day was really who I was. Now I realize that's not who I am. I'm talking to myself, the self that incredible, unlimited source of energy and creative power that can bring abundance into everything in your life. And you can attract anything you want into your life when you start connecting to this source. People call it universe. People call it energy. Some people call it God. But the reality is, what I recognized that day is in that human being up until the day that he died. When he left, that thing moved on to the next place. It was a life-changing experience. But now I know one thing. If I can tap into that energy that's inside of me, I have unlimited abilities. And then I start really thinking and using and then start controlling thoughts. Instead of the default and having this tape of my entire life telling me the way it should be, I start controlling my thoughts, because I realize that most thoughts that come at me are corrupt. But you don't fight them. If you try to fight your corrupt thoughts, your thoughts are just going to fight right back at you. So what you want to do is you want to just recognize a corrupt thought, whether it's anger or fear or anything that's in the way of where you want to go in life, and you just from it. You just accept it for what it is, and you just separate yourself from it. And you start to live in between your thoughts. And that's what mindfulness, for instance, or some people call it meditation, or any quiet time where you can, as Eckhart Tolle in The Power of Now talks about, where you can stay in the present moment and in the power of now. If you're living with a lot of anxiety and fear, you're thinking about the future. If you're living with a sadness and depression, you're thinking about the past. What you think about will expand. So you really want to stay in this place of right now in the present moment. And when you hit that mark and you start to really feel intuition, which comes from their soul, from your heart, from this place right here and not from up here, whoa, it's amazing what you can do. Then you start things by using your thoughts to attract exactly what you want in your life. And I've been blessed to be able to do this so many times in my life.
That's awesome. That's absolutely true. You know, Tom and I, we sit here and we talk about exactly that on the show, right? We emphasize that type of philosophy, that type of qualities, and on how to go about living your life.
Yep.
Right. We have somebody asking over here, how do you go about finding out who you are?
Well, everybody, who you are is really it starts with connecting to your divine soul or divine spirit. And you want to be able to do that. The way to do that is to try to remove the blocks that are preventing you from reaching your potential. Most people think that when they meet someone like me, I can light a rocket underneath you and give you extreme energy and power. The reality is who you are is just being blocked by anger or being suppressed by your past experiences. So if you start to really look back at your life and say, how do I give anger? If I want to connect to my divine energy, the divine energy, as it says in Think and Grow Rich, the divine energy does not really cannot live and exist in the same place as anger and resentment and dishonesty and jealousies. And he wants to live in a place, he's all of and kindness and giving and charity. So the more you move into a place of gratitude for everything you have, the more you'll be able to really start connecting to your divine purpose, and you'll start seeing who you really are. And you'll understand that there are things that you're in your life that really are your ability to see the truth of who you are. So it's not that every person knows who they are, and we're all different, but it's the things that are in front of us that are blocking our vision. It's almost like when I had this epiphany, it almost like I started cleaning my glasses a bit. I started seeing things in a much more clear way. I started taking responsibilities for the people I wasn't getting along with, or the addictions that I have. And I've overcome some amazing addictions. Not that they were amazing, but overcoming them were amazing, and they were handcuffing me. But these things is what empowered me, because once you think you're living a great life. I had a house in Long Island, and I had a good financial career, but I was handcuffed by all these negative emotions that were blocking my ability to see who I really was. And I was gifted by hitting rock bottom, because when I hit rock bottom, I had to learn to look back at my life. How do I fix? I thought I was having a great life, but you know what? I'm not a great husband. I get into a lot of arguments with people. I have a lot of anger. I'm overweight. I've lost 105 pounds in my life about 20 years ago, because I had a serious food addiction, because I was just like completely medicated. But you think you're normal. You think you're having a great life. But rock bottom will teach you things that the mountaintop never will. Once you start removing these blocks from your life, oh my God, you start creating vision boards and start manifesting, because you start communing with this self that's inside of you. And when you seek this energy, all you have to do is open a pinhole to this energy. If you seek this energy, it will come and knock on your door and show you faith. Imagine, when I have difficulties in my life, and I do have my share of challenges, I immediately start connecting to my faith and my belief, because like Tony Robbins and Wayne Dyer and Jack Canfield from Bob Proctor, they all talk, and Think and Grow, they all talk about the most thing that a person needs to manifest what they want in life is a 1,000,000% belief that they can have what they want. And you were right very much early at the beginning when you called it, and you said doubt is the poison that every entrepreneur. And you guys like Ither and Jay Shetty and all these extremely successful entrepreneurs and Ed Milet, they all talk about the same thing. You got to remove doubt from your life. Well, only way to remove doubt is to have 1,000,000% faith that something is behind you and something is going to help you on your own. How would you do that? The opposite of doubt is faith. So when you have 1,000,000% faith that you're gonna that you can have what you want in life, it's amazing how that ignites in front of you. So faith is the elixir that actually connects the divine spirit that's around us and the physical acquisitions that you desire.
Wow, you dropped a lot of nuggets on us over there, and that's amazing.
About a dozen nuggets,
right?
Maybe more.
When you know,
I wanted to. Can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I just wanted to add one more thing to you. When I listen to Tony Robbins or any of these really successful guys say things like, your 1,000,000% belief that you're going to get what you want in life is the actual vehicle by which you attract it into your life. When I hear it from him, I buy like 65, 70% of the way because he's so successful. But when I then research and I find out that, let's say, Jesus said stuff 2,500 years ago, and Lao Tzu said things from the Tao 3,000 years ago, but the Old Testament, which is pretty widely accepted by most of the world, was given 3,400 years ago. And then I see exactly what he's talking about in the Old Testament, and I realize that it's a divine message that was picked up by the world. That's when it goes from 75 to 80 to 90 to 100% from me. So I'm actually saying that the things these guys are talking about is divinely discovered into, given to us into this world. The word discovered discovers things. It means that thing was here since the beginning of creation, but it was uncovered. We just get to a point where we become more enlightened, so we discover it. It was always here. And all these things that we are discovering about the power of the think and grow rich, and how you can think yourself into an abundant life, abundant love, abundant happiness. And once you start realizing that it's your thinking that's getting in the way of everything that you're not having in life, boy, and changes. Wayne Dyer talks about, imagine, you're standing in the back of the boat and you're looking at this storm that you just come through and you're saying, wow, all I'm thinking about is this storm that I just lived through for the last 50, 60 years. I mean, and you say, dude, turn around and look at the sunshine. It's right in front of you. What are you focusing on the back of the boat for? And that we do. And that's the power of connecting to the divine spirit, because he'll show you everything. So we could talk about that if you want, but I just wanted to set that straight.
No, absolutely. We talk about that also. It's belief. Right. The first thing that has to come is belief.
Yeah.
Belief that you can do it. Believe that you have everything that it takes, and that, no matter what, you will get what you want, because doubt is the killer. Doubt is the killer. But let me ask you this, Larry, how, when people do have doubt, right? You talked about it. You said you got to have faith, right? But let's take an example, right? Some kid just got out of college, doesn't have experience in life, wants to go out and build, a business, and is very doubtful, has fears, has all that. How do we actually go about to kind of switch the thinking from that doubt to saying, okay, you know what? I may not have all the tools right now, but I still believe I can do it, and have that. What is there something specific? Is there a way, scientific method that they can do, or is it just going inside yourself and just saying, I believe, I believe, I believe?
It's two things. So I'm going to start with the faith side, which is the spiritual side, the biblical side first, and where it comes from. And then I'm going to move into some pragmatic approaches and answers. Is that okay?
That's okay. We just got 5 minutes.
So am I. So I'm going to assume it's okay.
We got 5 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So basically it boils down to this. When Moses came in bush, and, God says to him, go free the children of Egypt. And he says, you got the wrong guy. I stutter. So the big question is like, why didn't God just, fix his stuttering right then? So it's this, because God says to him, I know you've got a problem, but when you think you're the one who's going to succeed, you've got a big problem, buddy, because guess what? You stutter. But if you understand that it's me that's going to make you succeed, I take stutterers and I make them the best. I give them to become the best speakers in the world. It's the same thing in our life. When you come into graduate college and you're afraid because you have all these things going on and you think, how am I, me, how am I going to do this? It's time to take a step back and say, you're right. On your own, you're going to have a lot of difficulty. But guess what? If you understand that all your gifts were given to you and you have unbelievable power inside of you, then the more you connect to that, your fears will go away, because you'll realize on your own you can't do it, but you have someone who's going to help you. And the best thing I could recommend for that is gratitude. When we make a list of everything that we've received in our life that we have to be grateful for, we all of a sudden start to realize, you know what? Someone's been taking care of me a pretty long time. I really don't have much to be. So that's number one. I would make the thing I have to be grateful for in my life, and I would talk about it all day. But you know what? I've been given a lot of great gifts. This is probably going to continue. Grateful people are never bitter, and bitter people are never grateful. The other thing is I would start creating a vision board of exactly what I want in my life. Writing things down, using auto-suggestion, where you start saying things like you write down what you want to manifest into your life, how much money you want to earn, and what you're going to give in return for that, and at what time. So you might say something like, you just graduated college, you're 22 years old. I am so happy. And this is a book, by the way. It's called Organization, and you start saying things, write it down. I am so happy and grateful that by this time next year, I'm going to be earning $100,000 a year as a sales representative for one of the largest financial institutions in the world. In return for that, I'm going to provide honest service, charitable donations, and take care of people. And you do this first thing in the morning when you wake up and right before you go to sleep, and many times during the day, and you program your brain to be that person. Einstein said that the imagination is the divine's way of letting you know what's available for you in your future. The more you think you're alone in this game, you're doomed. But the more you understand that anything you want, you connect. The reason we're given, by the way, just to let you know how the law of attraction really works. The reason we're giving challenges is so that we take that challenge, we go up into a divine, and then expect. Through faith, we actually nurture this extreme solution, which is 10 times bigger than the problem was. So if we're having a little bit of a problem paying some bills, nurture not only to be able to pay the bills, because if you think about bills, you're going to get more bills. We nurture an amount of success, an amount of money that someone with that kind of success never has to think about bills. So when we have debts or fears, you don't think about the fears, you think about that would never deal with those fears. That's how you manifest it. It's all visualization, beautiful. Creating vision boards.
Larry, we got like 30 seconds left. Why don't you let people know how they can get in touch with you if they want to reach out and ask you to help them manifest and do all that?
Okay, first of all, you can reach lposenrpg@gmail.com. That's LOSENRPG@gmail.com. I have a website that's LarryPosenConsultants.net, and I'm on Facebook, just Larry Posen. And if you send me an email, I promise you I'll get back to you. We didn't get a chance to really speak. This subject is massive. It's huge. It's not just a minute conversation.
Absolutely. And I would definitely want to have you back on the show where we have some better connection. Traveler, thank you so much for being on the show, Larry. It's been a pleasure having you. A ton of information. Be safe in Israel. I look forward to coming there soon once this pandemic is over, and we'll grab a shawarma in Netanya. Travelers, thank you for being here. We'll see you somewhere on Space next week.
Is there a pandemic?
Wow, what a great show. Are you excited to learn the untold secrets of how to get wealthy? Then tune in next Thursday and every Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern right here on W4CY Radio. You too can learn how to become a traveling investor. If you missed any part of this episode or want to hear it again, go to the Traveling Investor Podcast on iHeartRadio. You can listen to all past episodes on demand 24/7. Next week's episode will take us somewhere new and exciting, so don't miss it. Thank you for listening.